It's been a while since we looked at an Oris watch. How long has it been?
It's been 18 months.
So a year and a half, but today we got some big news. Oris has finally made an all-new dive watch.
It's just a Diver's 65.
It is not a Diver's 65. It has a new name, new branding, and it's an all-new size. You know what? I think this new diver...
It's a Diver's 65.
Okay, fine. It's a Diver's 65. Without the name for some odd reason. Oris. Introducing the all-new Oris Diver's Date, which is just a Diver's 65 with a new name and size. But don't worry, it's still the watch you've always loved, and during my short time with it, I've discovered some interesting upgrades that pleasantly surprised me. But let's start off with what hasn't changed, the case. Its shape and finishing remain excellent. Oris has always impressed and excelled in this department. The sides of the case are perfectly polished, while the top of the lugs feature precise fine brushing. I find that the watch has a pretty flat profile, even though there is a downturn to those lugs. Now let's get the dimensions out of the way. I got a size of 38mm on the case and 39mm on the bezel. The secret measurement, which is the sapphire, is 30mm even. And the thickness, including that boxed sapphire, is 12.4. There's also no drilled lugs and a lug-to-lug of 46.4. I think I found the sweet spot for my 6.7-inch wrist. The 38mm Diver 65 did look a tad small for my tastes, and the 40 looked a bit too big. Now moving on to those upgrades, every Oris crown I've unscrewed tends to get stuck right at the end, and you have to turn it in the opposite direction to get it to pop. If you currently own an Oris, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. But this new diver seems to have fixed it. Maybe I received a golden sample, but it did genuinely surprise me when it worked flawlessly every single time. The crown is 6.8mm and features a clutch system that prevents it from overwinding the movement when you're screwing down the crown, which is fantastic for a Solita-based movement. You don't want to overwind these things. Oh, and I forgot the most important thing. The water resistance has been doubled. So it used to be 100 meters, a true skin diver, if you will, but now it's a respectable 200 meters. And there is more good news. I have filmed many Orises, and it seems like the quality control has been improved. I looked in all the usual places and I pretty much found no dust. So good job, Oris. One thing I find curious though, is Oris calls this dial a brown dial. To me, it looks more like an off-white taupe color, but I think it's the best color option. The new diver is available with two other colors, a deep dark blue and a basic black. Oris has also improved the applied hour markers. They added a beveled edge and it gives the plain Jane dial a little more depth. The bracelet has also leveled up. It now has quick release spring bars and it's more refined. The size, 19mm, tapering down to 14. And the faux rivets, which everyone complains about, looks to be more streamlined and discreet. Still no on-the-fly adjustments on the clasp, but there is 5 micro adjustments, and I believe it's secured via a pin and collar system. Another key improvement is that bezel. It's now ceramic instead of aluminum, and there are less hash marks for a cleaner look. I personally prefer aluminum and more hash marks, but I digress. Let's check out the feel and sound. Okay, good news, the bezel feels more solid and planted. I even drove back to Kavar Jewelers to test the old Diver 65 to make sure I wasn't going crazy. The clicks are soft, precise, and it's a pleasant experience. The old one felt flimsy with a jittery click. You can almost see it jump each click, like slightly jump. You don't get that here, so much improved. Now we're gonna look at something very important for a dive watch, the lume. The old Diver 65, the hands would glow much brighter than the indices. And during the daytime, the hands and indices, the lume never matched. I even DM'd Oris asking them why they never match, and they just said, because then it would be too perfect. So I guess now it's too perfect because it matches in the daytime and at night. So what's powering this all new watch? Well, it's the Oris 733-1. The old one, the Diver 65, had the 733, but the only difference that I could find is this one has 41 hours of power reserve instead of 38. The rest remains the same. It's a 28.8 VPH smooth sweep with 26 joules, and it hacks and hand winds. If you want to check out the movement, just flip the watch over and you'll see the iconic red rotor through that mineral glass caseback. I think Oris should be commended. The watch is much improved over the Diver 65 it replaces. And yet, for me personally, it doesn't hit the mark. For some reason, I feel like it lost its X factor. And definitely, I come away underwhelmed. Okay, so what's the price? Well, good news is, even with all the upgrades, it hasn't changed. It's still $2,700 USD. You guys used to always say it's overpriced. But now, with all the upgrades, is it still overpriced? I'll let you guys decide down below in the comment section. And while you are down there, remember to hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one.